isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos stuff.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on Sport.
What's going on, and welcome to Game Time Decisions. My name is Tom Vecchio. Joe Raineri will be coming up shortly, and today is day one of March Madness. We've had action starting about 6 hours ago. We have games going on right now. BYU is still up over VCU. They're up by 15. Gonzaga has been running away with things over Georgia really since the start. We've seen one major upset today with McNeese State taking down Clemson, and of course we have games running throughout the rest of the night. Another one coming up in about 50 minutes. Tennessee is taking on Wofford. Certainly looking at that one, we have a close matchup with Kansas and Arkansas. There's a ton to get to. We also have some NBA potentially get into later. There's a full NHL slate. There's a ton going on. One of the more interesting games on today's slate, though, would be Texas A&M taking on Yale. I know a lot of people, including some people behind the scenes here, are big on Yale, just based on the way that they play. And, you know, A&M is not a team that was super consistent coming down the final stretch of the season. They lost a number of games in a row. Just haven't put together a number of consecutive games that really impress you against high-quality opponents. They just haven't done that. And Yale's certainly a team that can be on, or Texas A&M, I should say, is on upset watch due to Yale being on the other side. When it comes to Tennessee and Wofford, we're dealing with an 18.5-point spread. This is the next game coming up at about 650 is a 135.5 total. Tennessee is certainly known for their defense, but, you know, Wofford does have a good offense. They're top 80 in the country in terms of Ken Pom offensive rating. Their defense, not too good. But we are dealing with a larger spread with certainly a low total at 135.5. So I'm on Wofford at plus 18.5. Again, with such a low total, if we'd be talking about a number of different things if Tennessee were to be able to cover this game and the game stayed under, given the fact that it's 135.5. So I generally side with larger totals when we're dealing with such a low game total overall. I think Tennessee will absolutely win this game, but Wofford will stay in the number. And the 135.5, I think, is super tight. If it ends at the 140 or 142 mark, I wouldn't be too surprised. But again, leaning on the under and looking for Wofford to cover. We have a bunch of interesting games coming up later. One of the later games with a large spread as well would be St. John's, 18.5, also taking on Omaha, 149.5 total. I am on the Omaha team total under. That was sitting at what was it, 56.5? Let me just double check with 64.5 for this game for Nebraska of Omaha. I'm on the under. We know how good the Giants have been on defense really for the majority of this season. Their offense really turned up in the past few weeks, so I'm looking for them to control this game. The 18.5, I don't really want to have any action on that. Like I said, I would lean towards Omaha just because, again, I like the larger spreads, but I'm mainly interested in the Omaha team total under 64.5. Now we turn to probably one of the more interesting games that everyone has seen since the brackets came out on Sunday night. That would be Michigan taking on UC San Diego. A 1.5 point spread is what it is now. It was a little bit larger earlier in the day. A couple days ago, 143.5. We know what Michigan did to end the season, coming away with the Big Ten title. But UC San Diego is certainly very, very strong. They were 25-7 ATS this season. And now you're going to say that they didn't play the same quality of competition as some of these power conference teams. But UC San Diego, as you can see, that spread got tighter. It didn't go in Michigan's favor. It got tighter in favor of UC San Diego. I know a lot of people that got a 2.5 wherever it might have been earlier in the week. And I have to say, Michigan is clearly on upset watch. Michigan, end of the season, kind of wacky. They were terrible for a good portion, and then they really turned things up in the Big Ten tournament. They got embarrassed by Michigan State at the end of the regular season, and then they really looked good. So what we get from Michigan has been anything but consistent. And a team like UC San Diego that has been so good this season, I think they're live. And this is, of course, the classic 5-12 matchup in their brackets. Everyone can say, oh, there's always going to be a 12th upset of 5. I don't think it really has anything to do with that. It could have been any combination of these team numbers for the seeding, but UC San Diego is a team you need to be worried about. As we move to the last game on the slate, Texas Tech laying 15.5 points against UNC. Wilmington of 143.5 total. I have no action on this game at all. It's the last game on the slate. I will not be up to stay to see the end of it. I don't want to have any action on this game. The last game that I have would be UC San Diego getting the 2.5. But the Texas Tech team, we know what they've done all season. A little bit inconsistent for my liking, but I wouldn't mind taking the 15.5 points with Wilmington, hoping that they can keep things close. So, ton going on. We have a full slate tomorrow, of course. Joe will get into all that. He is going to be here. I'm stepping in temporarily for him. He will be here in a few minutes. BYU up 72-60 over VCU. Gonzaga is blowing Georgia out the water. Georgia shouldn't have even been in this tournament. They're up 58-38 in the second half with 14:30 left. One game we didn't touch on would be Mizzou taking on Drake, the Drake Bulldogs. It is 5.5 points. I know a lot of people that are certainly very interested in Drake, and there is a ton of public money on Drake. People saw what Mizzou did, or what you could say Mizzou failed to do at large portions of the season, ending the season terribly, losing to Arkansas. You beat South Carolina. Congrats. You lose to Vandy. You lose to Oklahoma. You lose to Kentucky, you beat Mississippi State, and then you lose to Florida. So Mizzou is not a team that I have any interest in backing. I have Drake in my bracket. I'm almost positive I have Drake in my bracket. Taking the 5.5 points with Drake. They're just not a team, Mizzou this is, that you can trust in any capacity. And the 132.5 total is certainly very, very low. I believe it's the lowest total on today's slate, or at least of the remaining games. So I'm backing the Drake Bulldogs and hoping they come away with the victory there. Utah State, UCLA. This game, it's kind of had me back and forth. Don't know what to make of UCLA. I don't think they're a good team overall. I don't think Utah State is a team that I'm super thrilled about when it comes to taking the points. But at the same time, UCLA there's nothing drawing me to UCLA to lay 5.5 points with a team that's been largely mediocre or slightly above mediocre for the majority of the season. I don't think they're a team you need to fear. So at this point, I'll certainly just take the points with Utah State because that's the side that I'm just going to end up on because I have no confidence in UCLA. Again, a team that was okay throughout the regular season and a team I'm just, again, not super excited to look towards. As we get to tomorrow's slate, this is where obviously we have a ton of the premier teams, like in Alabama playing an Iowa State team, which I'm very interested in. We have Duke on the other side. And then we have some interesting matchups with a Florida, a Maryland playing, Kentucky, et cetera, et cetera. The Arizona team total for tomorrow night, almost 24 hours from now, 7:35 Eastern, that's expected to start. The Arizona team total, I have to go to the under on that. It's sitting at 91.5. They are 14.5-point favorites taking on Akron with a 166.5 total. I just can't be going up to 95 plus points essentially for Arizona. We know how good their offense is led by Love, but I don't see them running away with this game and dropping 95 points essentially. So I will be on the Arizona team total for tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow talking about that game right here on this very show. But again, leaning on a lot of unders early, and I do like unders in the early games, especially first half unders. We did see the over hit today in the first game of today with Louisville and Creighton, but again, starting off some of these games slow, I'll be leaning on some unders overall. So we're coming up against a commercial break right now. We have games going on. We have another game starting in about 40 minutes. We have games throughout the rest of the night. And then we have some of those top teams like a Duke and a Florida, Alabama, all set to take the court tomorrow. Stay tuned here on SportsGrid for all your March Madness needs. We have shows going wire to wire all weekend long. Stay tuned. We're coming up against the break. We'll see you guys on the other side.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think GameTime Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to GameTime Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than GameTime Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into GameTime Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome in. Here we go. Game Time Decisions on Madness Day. That is right, the first day of March Madness, and our first upset already in the books. Hello, McNeese State handling business. Will Wade on his way out the door to North Carolina says, I'll see you soon, Clemson in the ACC, knocking them off only by a bucket, but don't let that score fool you. That game was never, ever in doubt. And that sets up what should be a very interesting showdown moving forward. But we still have a couple of games underway, if you want to call them that, with BYU handling business over VCU 75-63. And of course, Georgia looks like they have finally decided to play some basketball and stop turning it over, but they have a big mountain to climb with about 11 and a half minutes to go. 66 now to 48. The Zags on top of Georgia. Let's bring in our good friend Tom Vecchio here to take a look at what I think is, listen, have been a lot of double-digit wins today by teams. A lot of blowouts outside of the one upset there with McNeese over Clemson. There hasn't been a whole lot of close games on what we have seen. I don't know if you think that continues here. We've got an 18.5, 19-point favorite in Tennessee coming up against Wofford. We've got, Kansas and Arkansas is an interesting game too as well coming up in the 7:30 hour. So I don't know. Is this just what we're going to see the rest of the way here early on in this tournament? A lot of double-digit wins for teams.
I'd be fine with Tennessee having a double-digit win as long as Wofford still covers, because I'm on Wofford. And, we've talked about this before on however many in-game live shows we've done, like a super large spread. We're also dealing with a 135.5 total. Like, we're not dealing with a sky-high total. We know how good Tennessee is on defense. Wofford has a fine offense, but Wofford plays really, really slow, right? They're like 342, I believe it is, in terms of pace. So I think they want to reel this game in. Like they don't want to get out and run. Their defense is bad, and Tennessee will overwhelm them. I don't think Tennessee is an amazing offense by any means, but their offense is better compared to Wofford. So I think Wofford wants to play this real slow. Their defense has to show up, and Tennessee's not some amazing offense that's going to be running up to score. So I think Wofford keeps it with the number, but Tennessee's going to win this game.
So one of my approaches today, Tom, with these big favorites is that I faded all of them in the first half and took the points with the dogs. And it worked out with Montana earlier today. They were getting 10 points there, I think, 9.5, 10 points against Wisconsin. They kept that in single digits in the first half. McNeese State, obviously. We saw Alabama State scare Auburn to death there. So might that be not a bad look either here with Wofford? Because let's face it, it's these smaller schools. They give everything they have. It's never good enough to win a full game. But maybe, just maybe, Tennessee coming out of a pretty disappointing SEC tournament, maybe a little bit of a letdown early, maybe take the points with Wofford in this one.
Yeah, and this is this could be a good trend that you key in on. It's like, I'm going to take the points early, but ultimately the better team ends up covering. And it may not be the full game, and again, this is why an in-game live show is so important, because Wofford is close in the first half. You're going to get a better full game number for Tennessee, because do they cover the 18? No. Can they cover an 11, maybe a 10, somewhere around there? Yeah, that's likely for Tennessee. But again, the lack of consistency that we've seen from some of these top teams that had disappointments at the end of the year, I think I'm on board with that trend.
Yeah, no, I like it. So far, it's been profitable here today, and we still have a ton tomorrow of those big favorites with the big schools taking on the little guys here. But I do think a 7-10 Kansas taking on Arkansas. Kansas being the 7 seed, Arkansas being that 10 seed. It's kind of held strong at 5 here with Kansas. Kansas has got the experience. A lot of older players on this team. Arkansas has played its best basketball down the stretch. 2 of the best coaches in college basketball. Might this be really one of those games that comes down to who has the ball last here?
Yeah, if who has the ball last, I guess I would take points with Arkansas. I kind of briefly mentioned this game in the opener where I just don't have a whole lot of interest because, we've done a lot of the Arkansas games and they've looked bad. That game against South Carolina, they couldn't score. Yep. There's been other times that they're getting into track meets with teams and they're both putting up 70, 75, 80 points, somewhere around there. So I just I haven't had a read on Arkansas for however long. I don't, again, this is a spot where if someone could come in and convince me on Kansas, I would say yes. If someone could convince me about Arkansas, I would also say yes. So I just have no action on this game. But if you think it's going to come down to a one possession game where whoever has the ball last, I think the right side is taking Arkansas with the 4.5.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's a good point here. Take as many points as you can in that game because I don't see blowout coming there. The favorite dog that I have seen in the market so far today is without a doubt Yale, who were getting 7.5. I'm now seeing 7. Yale, of course, pretty much all the seniors a lot of the guys that took down Auburn in the first round last year are on this team. It's an upperclassman, Texas A&M. You and I watched them a lot this year and covered them. So inconsistent, can't be trusted. Can I trust them to lay 7.5 points here? No, I public as it is, it feels like I should take the points in this one.
You absolutely should. I can't bet this game since I'm in Connecticut. Yale is here, but I do have the upset of Yale in the bracket, and we have seen what A&M has done or lack thereof, right? Where 4-game losing streak, then they beat LSU. The game, congratulations on beating LSU. They just weren't a team to trust. So give me the points if I could take them, but I do have the upside. So roll with Yale.
Yeah, Drake is another public darling here as a dog. SEC versus the Missouri Valley. Tom, I don't know. I do think, though, we're in store for a whole lot more blowouts, so get ready for those. And as always, Tom, we'll see much more of you here as March Madness continues, not just the rest of today, but tomorrow. We got Saturday, we got Sunday. Enjoy the ride, my friend. We'll talk again. More Game Time decisions coming up next on the grid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. Welcome to Madness as it continues to roll on day one here, the opening round of the 64 that are remaining. And just one upset so far earlier today, but we all know how that works. There'll be many more to come before it is all said and done. And we've got a lot else going on here tonight. NBA in action, NHL, a full slate. Now would be a good time to check in with our good friends Joe Madden and Tom Vecchio to see what is up here tonight with their Sports Millions Pick'em. What do you guys got going on?
Happy Thursday, everyone. It's time to jump into our Sports Millions Pick'ems over here on the grid. Now, we've got a loaded day as the first round kicks off here, Tom, and I can't wait to look at some of these Sports Million Pick'ems to the higher or the lower. Where are you going to go with yours today?
Yeah, let's jump in. This is the start of arguably, for the best days of sports for the entire year. Let's turn to Mizzou taking on Drake. And for Mizzou, let's go to Mark Mitchell, higher than 13.5 points. Now, he was with the team last year when they went on their tournament run, but last year wasn't the main guy. And this year, he has really stepped up to meet one of their main, if not their main point scorer. He didn't do much in their most recent game versus Mississippi State. He didn't really have to do so, but he is a great scorer. Over the last 10 games, he's had over 20 points 4 times, been up at 25 and 31. We see Mizzou playing fast. They're 106 in pace. They're also 5th in Ken Palm adjusted offense. So he certainly has the team around him to do so. Now, Drake does play slow. They're one of the slowest teams in the country, so we do have some opposing styles in this. But Mark Mitchell is one of the main shooters for Mizzou, and he's consistent at scoring, so I like him there. Now, on the other side, for Drake, I'm expecting this game to play a little bit faster than they would want to. They are, again, a slow-paced team, and that's going to lead to more opportunities overall, and it's going to lead to more possessions and more rebounds. So let's turn to Daniel Abreu from Drake, higher than 3.5 rebounds. Combining these two, we get a 3x multiplier. He's had at least 3 rebounds in 9 of the last 10 games. So he is live to hit this every single time he's on the court. And again, I'm expecting Mizzou to essentially control the pace of play. They're not going to be playing at Drake style. We're going to see Drake playing a little bit more Mizzou style, which means we're going to see the possessions going a little bit back and forth. And again, if I expect Mizzou to be out in front, the possessions and the chances will be there for Daniel Abreu to go higher than 3.5 rebounds. And that's where I'll take him. Joe, what do you have?
I love where you're looking today, Tom. I'm going to look here at Arkansas versus Kansas. Now, Arkansas coming in here as the number 10 seed. Kansas is number 7. And I do think Arkansas has every ability to come out and get the win in this matchup. But it's going to rely on one of their players here, Davis. And I do think Davis has to come out nice and strong, be able to get those points on the board. You look at Davis, and he was part of that Cinderella run with FAU. And I do think he's heating up at the right time. He's reliable for this team for his threes, averaging 1.6 made threes per game. And on the season, averaging right around that 11.2 points per game. Now, this is down from what he's been able to do in his career. We saw him at FAU in that last season being able to average right around 18 points. And I love his experience he brings into the tournament here. We can get him for his points. Janelle Davis, higher than 14.5 points. And I love it in this situation. I think he's going to bring that experience, bring that 3-point shooting, and be able to go higher than this number. And then when we look here at Kansas, it's Hunter Dickinson that I have circled. Now, Dickinson coming in here with a points and rebound number of 30.5, and I will take that to the higher. He needs to really stand up for Kansas. Kansas has been disappointing on the season. We never know what we're going to get out of them, but I do think Hunter Dickinson coming in here has to be the man to get things done. Now, we do see Arkansas committing those fouls, and Dickinson's able to hit those fouls, the free throws at 74.4%, and I do think that will come into play in this game, as it should be a tight battle as we go down the stretch. Now, he's averaging 17.6 points per game, 10 rebounds, and it's really in that rebound market that he's just been going off as of late. In his last 3, nicely clearing the 30.5 points and rebounds combined. So give me Davis higher than 14.5 points. Give me Hunter Dickinson higher than 30.5 points and rebounds for a 3-time multiplier over here on Sports Millions.
We have 2 of the best days of college basketball coming up, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.
game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of thoughts.
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think GameTime Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to GameTime Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than GameTime Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into GameTime Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here as the madness has begun. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by as we've got plenty more college basketball, the tournament underway. Just one big upset thus far earlier today. The dreaded 12/5 seed there as McNeese State and Will Wade get it done over the Clemson Tigers. They will advance to take on the Purdue Boilermakers, who handled their business against High Point earlier in the day. But we got much more basketball coming up on the college slate here tonight in just a few. We'll get Tennessee and Wofford. We'll get Kansas and Arkansas. And we want to welcome in our good friend Adam Kaufman here, keeping an eye on all of it. We also have a bunch of NBA games here tonight we can touch base on, Adam. But outside of that one upset, I'm seeing a lot of double-digit wins here, seeing a lot of blowouts early on. I'm wondering if that is a theme moving forward into tomorrow with a lot of these first-round games.
Well, look, if you're someone who likes a lot of the chalk for teams that are heavily favored, then that would be a good thing. I'm rooting for a lot of that. But, you know, I was on Creighton earlier in the day, and I know that was a minor upset, plus 2.5 there for Creighton. Obviously, one on the money line, a game that was never particularly close. But like you said, the only, true, real upset that we have seen was Clemson as a 7.5-point favorite going down to McNeese State. It wasn't totally unexpected in the sense that a lot of people, the majority of the market, certainly were on McNeese with the points, but I don't know how many people invested in McNeese State on the money line, and it really shouldn't have even come down to it as it did. And I know you were paying attention, but for anyone out there that wasn't watching or following that game, Clemson scored 13 first-half points, was down by 20-some points at the break. The fact that they went on the run that they did in what was really the last 5-6 minutes, still they were down by double figures for almost 30 straight minutes of that game until the waning minutes of the game when they decided to finally start to bury some 3-point shots and wound up losing by 2. That on account of a meaningless bucket at the buzzer. But even still, lost by 2. Just a game that really frustrating if you're someone that I had Clemson, for instance, in a just a money line parlay. I figured, I don't know if they're going to cover, but Clemson's going to win. They're an overwhelming favorite. How do they get embarrassed in the opening round? Blah, blah, blah. And they end up going down the game that, again, wasn't even competitive until the final few minutes. Just incredibly frustrating. But is it a harbinger of things to come, like with some of the big favorites we have tonight? I don't think so. I think that, like you acknowledged, the whole 12-5 thing, people are always going to be weary of those games.
Yeah.
And, pay attention regardless of the spread of there's just some mystical whatever around 12 seeds. So does it wind up happening? Do we get, 2, 3, or 4 of them that end up getting the job done? There's one, obviously, but it's going to be interesting. We got Tennessee coming up next, I know. And look, I think the Vols cover in this one, let alone see a tight game. I'd take them by 20 plus.
Yeah, well, exactly correct. We're starting to see, like, Auburn got a scare earlier today, early on, which, for a lot of these SEC teams coming out of that tournament, playing a lot of these mid-major lower conferences, it's not a shock that they're starting slow, but eventually too much talent, too much power, too much athleticism. Eventually, they'll end up pulling away. Auburn was only up 10 at the break against Alabama State, ended up going to win by twice that when it was all said and done. And Tennessee is going to be interesting here because Wofford can shoot. So can Yale. And I know a lot of folks, the trendy dog tonight is Yale. I saw him at 7.5, now down to 7. And if anybody's followed Texas A&M, you notice, Adam, you can't trust this team. There's nothing that this team cannot score, cannot shoot. They have to win it with defense. And it seems to be one of those matchups where if I got a team of shooters, I'm going to take the team that can score in this spot. No, I'm not going to take the team that has to win by holding the other team to 50 points.
Yeah, look, I hope the outcome is different, but I played this one similar to the Clemson game, meaning I think Yale probably does cover, but I have Texas A&M in, again, some of those money line groupings. I do think A&M wins this game. Obviously, it's that, make-miss league kind of thing that we always say about the NBA. That's the way it is with Yale's three-point shooting. If obviously they come out blazing, that's going to be a problem on the other side. But if they're cold, this game could get sideways in a hurry because I just don't think A&M is going to run into a Clemson-like stretch where you only see, 13 to 20 first half points. I think we're going to get points in this one. And points in general are something that we have seen. You mentioned just as we were coming on the air that a trend that you've been backing are these dogs in the first half to cover. I think Yale's another great spot for that. But on top of that, totals. What's one thing that we're always talking about, not as much maybe now as we get into the evening on the East Coast, but some of the earlier in the day games like, these are college kids, they're young guys, slow starts, play first half unders, all of that. You know what? Going back to the first 4, which obviously 2 games last night, 2 the night before, and here we are with these, 8-2 to the first half over on the totals. So, that trend has not played out really. It's something historically we always like to mention, but wasn't the case last year, wasn't really the case the year before, and so far hasn't been the case this year. So I'd look to some of these first half overs as well.
Not a bit. I listen, it's you're expecting slow down kind of situation. You're not expecting a team like Clemson to score 13 points and a half, but you are expecting at least some points from some of these teams here. And I like the over in that Yale A&M. I don't know that I'm running to the window to bet a Drake over, though, against Missouri.
Sure.
And that is going to be the question because Drake's getting an awful lot of love. I got a whole lot of trendy dogs coming up here tonight, Adam. Yale, Drake going up against another SEC team in Missouri. I don't know anybody betting Michigan. They're all betting UC San Diego. Half the people betting UC San Diego have never watched UC play. Never seen them play a game. They have no idea, but they're betting them. That's the kind of trendy dogs that worry me here at this point in the season.
But it's another 12-5, and that's in large part why people are betting them. That's one thing. Another thing is obviously, I'm sure people in their 2 hours of research that they've done after not watching college basketball all season have learned about the cover rate with UCSD and how incredible that has been. Michigan had to go on that great run to, win the Big Ten tournament there and celebrate that championship. There might be a little bit of a hangover from that. Let's not get lost in the fact that this Wolverines team, while they were plucky during that tourney run, is not a very good team. If you look at KenPom metrics, for instance, it generally favors UCSD in this matchup. You know, it would tell you that the committee, in terms of seeding at least, has this one wrong. And I think anyone, and who knows who's going to win. Maybe Michigan wins. Maybe Michigan goes to the Sweet 16. But I think if you trust in the numbers, which is what a lot of people like us try and do this time of year, UCSD is the play. You know, this is one to not only, you know, play the spread, sprinkle the money line, all of it.
You've got another interesting one that I played in the first half because these big underdogs, a lot of things that they have in common is they're able to score. And I think Omaha against St. John's is another one of those situations where St. John's wins the Big East, comes in, number 2 seed. Everyone's got them going on. This would not shock me if this game is much closer at the break than St. John's backers hoped for here. Omaha is pesky, can certainly put some points up on the board. They're great on the boards. It's not as easy a matchup as some people may think it's going to be. But again, that's, you know, if I'm getting double digits in the first half, the Johnnies aren't a team that are just picking up and running over teams. They eventually wear you down. It's an interesting spot here tonight with Omaha, a 15 seed, taking on St. John's. So let the madness begin, Adam. Bottom line, that's what we've got, and it will continue, my friend. I appreciate the time, as always. Game Time Decisions will continue next on the Grid.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, you know, teammates. Now th're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whoever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
HL today, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. You know, they can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions on a Madness Thursday. That is right. The madness is officially underway here as we are just awaiting the final minute or so of the Zags taking on Georgia right now, 87-65. This looks like that is going to be all she wrote for the Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC. Maybe, just maybe, the Zags a little underappreciated here as they have come out just very impressive here as an 8 seed right now. And Georgia trying to figure out where it went all wrong. But still plenty more basketball to go here on the college front. But we also got an entire, I'm counting, and I stopped counting after 10. We got a ton of games on the ice here tonight. The NHL in full effect. And who better to break some of these games down than our good friend Joe Madden in the house, ready to go. Amongst all the madness, Joe, quietly, there's 27 NHL games on tonight, it feels like, that nobody is paying attention to, which I think is really good for the market because there's got to be some awful numbers that we can jump on right now. Kick us off with your Calgary team here, taking on the New Jersey Devils coming up top of the hour. What are we thinking? Calgary get it done?
Yeah, I do think Calgary can come out strong to start this one off, Joe. You've got Calgary rolling in here off that win versus the New York Rangers on their second night of a back-to-back after losing on St. Patrick's Day to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now they were able to get a nice scrappy 2-1 win versus the Rangers, and now they're going to take on a New Jersey Devils team that will have their old goaltender Jacob Markstrom in goal. The last time these teams faced up, it was Jacob Markstrom coming back to Calgary, and Calgary was able to get the shutout win in that matchup, and I think they go in hot into this one. Look for that momentum off of that win in their last game out. I expect them to go up on the money line to start, but that's where I'd stay with them. This is going to be a tricky game because even though the New Jersey Devils are without Dougie Hamilton and Jack Hughes, I do think this team has every ability to put some goals on Dustin Wolf as well. We know Dustin Wolf is elite at home. His numbers drop slightly out there on the road, and the Devils are desperate to get a win just like Calgary is out here. So look for Calgary first period money line. That's coming in at plus money at plus 122. And then I got a couple of player props. If Calgary is scoring, it's Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau who are getting those points on the board. If you parlay them together, each for a point tonight, it's coming in at plus 176. While they don't play on the same line, they are on the top power play together. So I think their likelihood of getting the point within the same goal is there. And then when we look at the New Jersey Devils, it's Nico Hischier here for the power play point tonight. That's coming in at plus 200. Calgary struggles in that kill, and Nico Hischier's been able to put up those power play points over the season. He's coming into this one nice and strong, 28 goals and 25 assists for the Devils. So Nico Hischier on the power play.
I love it. All right, moving on down the board here. Toronto and the Rangers getting ready to go at it here. Boy, this number feels a little bit low. 5.5 is what I'm seeing here. The money's been all Rangers so far today. Joe, do you agree?
Yeah, it makes sense looking at the New York Rangers here because I know Toronto got that win last night versus the Colorado Avalanche, but you look at the games they've played as of late, their expected goals are still down. They got a 2-1 win over the Colorado Avalanche, and I think the Rangers with Igor Shesterkin in net are going to have their way and get the win. But at minus 130, Joe, I just don't want to bet it. That's too much juice for me to take on a hockey team, especially when it comes down to some puck luck at the end of the day. I think what the best way to look at this is to look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and look at their team total. They have a team total of 2.5. We're getting that to the under at plus 108. And I know you guys are going to say, well, look at them versus Calgary, how many goals they were able to get. But this Rangers team, even though they've had struggles at Madison Square Garden, Igor Shesterkin's turning that corner, and I'm looking for a big performance out of him tonight. Look for him to stand on his head. The Rangers to win this in a 3-1, 3-2 at the worst style game.
I love it. All right, how about my Florida Panthers on the road against Columbus? Both teams looking for goals and looking for wins here at this point. It's been a rough stretch here, but this field, it was 5.5. I'm starting to see 6s now as a total. We could get way more goals in this one than maybe the market thinks.
I think we definitely are, because you look at this and Columbus, they've been anemic for their goals as of late, but this is a team that has been playing strong at home. Their expected goals and their numbers they've been able to put up at home goal-wise have been phenomenal. They're 29-4 on the season on their home ice, and they've been able to cover that puck line as a home underdog this season, going 22-5. The problem with that underdog price is you're going to have to lay too much juice, plus 1.5 on that puck line. Now, Bobrovsky versus the Columbus Blue Jackets has a goals goals against average of a 2.26. I do think Columbus can go over 2.5 goals in this. We just need 3 goals out of them. That's coming in at minus 106. My only concern with your Florida Panthers in this matchup, Joe, they've come off a couple of losses, and yes, they've been strong in the last 10, going 7-3. But you look at their next matchup. On Saturday, they have to face the Washington Capitals. Are they going to overlook a Columbus team here with Elvis in goal? So I don't know if they'll overlook them. I do think Columbus will come out. They'll get the goals on the board, and it's either a 4-3 win here for the Florida Panthers or a 4-3 win here for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
We're also getting Colorado at a very light price here. Slight road favorite against Ottawa. You buying them tonight?
No, I'm not. And I understand why people would want to buy on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche have dominated versus the Ottawa Senators. They've won the last 5 meetings straight, 3 of the last 4 in Ottawa. But this Ottawa team, before that loss to Montreal, is playing fantastic hockey. 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Give me the plus money on the home dog. Scott Wedgwood is in net for Colorado. And I know Colorado is such a dominant team, but it's the second night of a back-to-back. They were versus Toronto in that last game last night. 2-1 loss. It was a scrappy, hard-hitting game. I think we're going to see the Ottawa Senators get things done, led by Brady Tkachuk out here. So look for Brady Tkachuk to come out and get that goal as well.
Looking for Brady Tkachuk to get it done. And then, of course, late night Boston, Vegas. Joe, how you leaning?
Oh, this is a hard one, right? Because we need Boston to play like the team that we expect them to be. They're such a huge favorite in this one. I'm just going to lay the puck line. I'm going to have faith that Vegas can get back on track. They got shut out in that last game versus the Red Wings, and we look at the Boston Bruins. They've lost their last 3. If Boston comes out here, are we going to be shocked if they really stand up? I will be. Nope. I think Vegas is such a better team.
I love it. Joe Madden, enjoy the madness. We'll close it out. Game time decisions next here on the grid.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, teammates. Now they're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whatever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
HL today, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in. Game time decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. A very special edition of In-Game Live Bracket Central coming up in just a couple of minutes as Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi will pass the torch on to them. They will have you covered with everything that is March Madness, with a great slate of games still to come here. Day one of the tournament. But I do want to remind you, of course, if Sports Millions Pick'em is not your thing, don't forget about the Sports Millions Blitz'em.
Enjoy Sport Millions pick'ems, but hey, making picks yourself? Well, Sports Millions has you covered. Head on over to Sports Millions Blitz'em right now and let the computer do the work. Go to sportsmillions.com/blitz'em to be able to win big prizes without having to make a single pick yourself. That's sportsmillions.com/blitz'em.
All right, appreciate that, Joe. And we are getting ready as Tennessee and Wofford, the 2:15 matchup of the day underway. Tennessee up 5-3 early in that one as they just got underway. Don't forget, we got plenty of NBA action coming up here tonight. It's going to kick off with Brooklyn, Indiana, as well as New York and Charlotte as the Knicks trying to bounce back after a horrific showing last night against San Antonio. And Indiana, once again, with absolutely nobody playing, taking on the pesky Brooklyn Nets, who never seem to win, but always seem to cover games. So, yeah, I'll take the points with the Brooklyn Nets here tonight. And the game we're going to have an eye on tonight is going to be the late-night game there with the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the LA Lakers. And the Lakers, coming off that game last night with Luka and company against Denver, a game in which they won, have decided to sit, well, everybody, including, I believe, most of the bench guy. There is nobody playing for the Lakers here tonight. The only question is who's going for the Milwaukee Bucks. There's still some question marks regarding Damian Lillard, but all in all, the Bucks opened up as a slight 2.5-point favorite. They are now a 7.5-point favorite. That'll be your late night game in the NBA to go along with a couple of late night games in March Madness. NC Wilmington will be taking on Texas Tech. Michigan will be taking on UC San Diego. Also, you're going to have Nebraska Omaha and the Johnnies here tonight. I can't wait to see it. It's a very interesting game. The Johnnies are not exactly an offensive juggernauts. They like to slowly but surely beat you on the boards and kind of wear you down as the game goes on. Omaha, a lot more up-tempo, might be able to surprise the Johnnies early. I took the 10.5 points in the first half. That has been a pretty good trend thus far today as all the big dogs have covered outside of, I believe, Edwards, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville there. That was the only one. Houston absolutely destroyed them early. But everyone else, including the only upset of the day, that 12-5 as McNeese State gets it done over Clemson, 69-67. But all of the big dogs have covered early in these games. We're going to see if that trend can continue. We did it with Wofford. We did it here with Nebraska Omaha. And I believe there's probably good reason to think NC Wilmington, the same way, should be able to keep this game pretty close, at least early on, against Texas Tech. So we are getting ready for the next game, though, which is Yale and Texas A&M. Trendy dog. The public loves themselves some dogs. Drake is one of them. Now down to 5.5. Missouri was as high as a 8-point favorite this week. Now down to 5.5 as the money is rolling in on Drake, and the money is coming in on the Yale Bulldogs to do it once again. A year ago, don't forget, they upended Auburn in the opening round of the tournament. Can they do it again this year? Most of the same guys are on the team for Yale. This team can shoot. Texas A&M, not so much. This is going to be an interesting game. Buzz Williams could be on edge here tonight for the Texas A&M Aggies. So the madness is off and running, and we love it. We're all for it, but get ready. We've got a very special edition of In-Game Live Bracket Central coming up. Game Time Decisions Well, we'll be back again 24 hours from now doing it all over. Enjoy the games. Don't go anywhere. In-game live next here on The Grid.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, teammates. Now they're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whatever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
HL today, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, lucky you. Huh? You were like, how could this day get better? I mean, it's March, it's madness, it's game after game. So, okay, Nubs, it's Joe Lisi. We're right here in the mix with you on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh and Joe Lisi. And you lock in for Lisi's most important game of the opening round, easily the college hoop season. Joe, tell the people a little bit about what we got going on here.
It's been a pretty good day, but I'm all over Wofford plus the 18.5. Our 19-15 team won the conference tournament, stepped up and smashed VMI, smashed Furman, Jackson Civilis, one of their guards. He's a blue-collar type of player. And right now they're going toe-to-toe with Tennessee. I know Tennessee, one of the better teams, and won the SEC in terms of the regular season. But I'll just say this. I think Wofford could be within the number, and don't be shocked. At 14-1, with 5 minutes left, they're within striking distance.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. We're going to have the opportunity for anyone out there who can bet player props. We'll go through those live markets with you. We have great games coming up in this window. Incredibly, Tennessee-Wofford was probably supposed to be the worst of the bunch, but with Lisi's investment level, we will be keyed in here. I'm on Igor Milicic for those prop players for 15 points plus rebounds in this game. Doing work on the glass early, but again, it is early. I do want to, as we're watching this one play out, talk about Kansas and Arkansas in a tournament where I'm sure a lot of you filling out your brackets were like, man, am I really going to put all the 1 seeds in? I mean, really? Okay, and if I don't go a 1 seed, am I going to go a 2 seed? Who could possibly be the surprise? For me, that ended up Kansas. I put the Jayhawks into my Final Four. I think Bill Self can go on a run a la Tom Izzo. We've seen him do it. Bill Self is that legendary type of coach. Let's not forget, this is the preseason number 1 team in the Kansas Jayhawks, booked as a 5.5-point favorite against the Arkansas Razorbacks and John Calipari. And the more I broke this game down, this Arkansas team cannot score against the best defenses in the country. That was made evident throughout SEC play. I know they're banged up. Oh, but Boogie Flan's coming back. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I'm really not. Boogie, I think, can be a good pro, but this is an Arkansas team that had a bit of momentum, and I don't know if they need Flan coming in and saying, awesome, 12, 15 shots coming my way, fellas, and that could potentially rock things. I played a Razorback team total under at 71.5. Again, I have Kansas in the Final Four. Obviously, I like them in this spot, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good look, Kev. I mean, I told you this is the one game going back and forth. I could see either side coming out. It's a 4.5-point spread, and the one thing, I'll take the pros and cons for both teams. Okay. If you tell me, where maybe I'm looking at this game wrong. But Kansas, to me, we talked about it in terms of preseason number one. We know they have the talent, haven't stepped up from a consistency perspective in the Big 12 this year, started and were able to score earlier in the year, and then towards the end of the regular season against better Big 12 competition, they were in the area of about 70, 71 when they started that mini run against Colorado, and that's the area of concern, I think, where I would give the edge to Arkansas. Now, Arkansas, did not play well early. 0-5 out of the gates in terms of the SEC. But you look at the last month of the season, they have an identity when they smash teams like Vanderbilt in their building, right? And they had to win games down the stretch. I know they lost to Ole Miss in the conference championship, but I think they're athletic enough to at least keep it within the number. I don't love this game, but I would be more inclined to take the points with Calipari than lay them with Self.
Yeah, listen, I want to say this. I think, look, Cal is in a much different position than he has been with Kentucky.
Playing with house money. To a degree.
No. No, you're dead right. But you know who knows that? Coach Cal. He's already dying to get to that press conference and go, what a season. Oh, what do you mean we lost by 25? That's a preseason number one team, way misseeded. I had 4 healthy players. My cousin was playing point guard half the season. No. We did great work. So proud of this program, and we'll reset and figure it out next year because that's who Cal is. It's who Cal was, I feel, at Kentucky, and I think it's who he was for a lot of this year at Arkansas. Yes, they turned it around, but let's not pretend that he turned around a program we weren't sure what they would be in year number one. This was a team that was almost ranked inside the top 15 coming into the season. So it's a Razorback team that offensively I don't trust. I think the Jayhawks will have to play a terrible offensive game to be on upset alert in this one. I don't see that happening. That's going to be, again, our most upcoming game. We still have 2 others behind that, which we will be breaking down, Texas A&M and Yale, and then Missouri and Drake. But we get to the under 12 here, Joe. Tennessee starting to heat up from beyond the arc a little bit.
Yeah, the guard play, Chaz Lanier just nailing, buckets down the stretch here. Yeah. They've extended. They're forcing Wofford to work underneath, and that's where you give the edge to the Tennessee defense overall, right? I didn't think it would be easy, but at the end of the day, they're still within striking distance. They're catching 18.5, down 9 now. They've had good looks. They've nailed some threes. So I think still, as this game plays out, and I am on the over as well, I told you that pre-tip, 135.5, did take that. It didn't move all week. Hasn't really fluctuated when we look at some of these totals. Again, early out in terms of Tennessee, I think we could still get the over, but I still think Wofford's going to be within striking distance. I honestly believe that. It was a flat 18.5 all week.
Yeah.
We saw 19 start, a half a point. I actually like that movement.
Okay.
We didn't see 1.5 or 2s like we saw with some of these teams. Oregon, opened up -5.5. They were then 7.5. We saw other teams move in terms of that market fluctuation. Yeah. I like the half a point move in my favor, so we'll see.
Yeah,
styles make fights. I'm willing to gut this out. It's early. Now, if they're down 20, I might need the Tums.
For you, in terms of getting to this, it's tough, and everyone's different in their process. What stood out to me when I was going through Wofford, and it's like, all right, well, who can I compare in terms of who they've played?
Right.
You see the Duke game.
Yeah.
They lost by 1 billion. I mean, they're still getting scored on, I think, at Cameron Indoor. What really the problem was the offense in that basketball game. They couldn't crack 40. Going up against this defense at this pace, that didn't scare you off at all.
No. I watched that, and I understand it was VMI and it was Furman, but I just like the way they played. They do play with a lot of guards, and I think that'll carry them through. Guard play, typically, if you have consistent guard play in the tournament, you're going to be within these matchups. You know, they have veteran guards as well, which I think is important going up against a solid defense and one of the top defenses in college basketball. Again, you know, they're forcing to work shots, but they didn't come out tight. They're going toe-to-toe. They're forcing Tennessee to work underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's what you want to see. Can now Lanier, shoot lights out? He's averaged basically 19.5 points per game over the last 6 or 7 games. He's carried this team along with Ziegler, absolutely. But, at the end of the day, that's why it's called gambling. I'm willing to take that risk in terms of a double-digit spread at 18.5.
I'm curious for you, just Tennessee, big picture, right? I don't know if in the brackets you were throwing Wofford. I feel like maybe not. Where did you land on this Tennessee team as you were trying to go through that process?
For me, Sweet 16. But again, I keep going back to this, and I talked about this with Scotty earlier, and, he's like, you can't blame the coaches.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's always the talent.
Yeah.
But when it consistently happens to a top 25 team or a team in the top 15 where the coach can't get the most out of this team, that's where I struggled to back Rick Barnes in a big spot. I was on them against Purdue last year with Dalton Connect. If they couldn't get through what I feel was a more consistent team at that point, I can't back. I need to see it before I'm willing to do it. Do they have the talent to go with anybody? Absolutely. Beat Tennessee, beat dominant teams. But it's in a big spot with the chips in the middle of the table. Rick Barnes fails time and time again.
All right, we've got Tennessee and Wofford. We have got Kansas, Arkansas joining the slate next right here on SportsGrid.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think GameTime Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to GameTime Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than GameTime Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into GameTime Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on SportsGrid. It is Bracket Central. March Madness, 2 live, 2 more coming in this window. I'm Kevin Walsh. I'm with Joe Lisi. The stress is real.
Kid gets fouled on a three-pointer. Missed the first 2 free throws. Come on, man. Let's go.
Wofford.
Three? You
no,
gotta
he didn't.
Be kidding me.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No.
Who's this guy?
I don't want to be negative, but you know that's not good. Would we agree on that?
That's great.
Okay. All right. So listen then. Well, I don't know. You're a positive guy. I didn't know how positive you could be. We're trying to put you to the test here. Look, Razorbacks came out piping hot on the offensive side of the basketball. They've got 9 early ones here. Hunter Dickinson has done all the scoring for Kansas. Nobody else really even involved right now for the Jayhawks. Joe, I want to talk about the other 2 games that'll be joining us throughout this window. We're here with you until 10 o'clock Eastern tonight, so we'll be able to talk through all the games, but we're going to have 4 great games tonight. Texas A&M and Yale. Last year, Yale, they knock off an SEC team on the 4 line in Auburn. Do you think they can do it again?
It's possible. If anything, I would bet Yale from a first-half perspective, but I still lean to Texas A&M now. Everybody seemed to know that Texas A&M's jet and plane didn't get out there until Tuesday, so that had a lot of people on Yale because of the travel perspective and logistics. But I just think the defense of A&M, to me, smothering, blue-collar, they're built for March. If they can get through Yale, I think they can make a mini run, and we saw them knock off Auburn, right? Auburn was on that heater, 20 of 22 wins, and they went to College Station after the big victory over Kentucky and got boat raced. Texas A&M is built for the run. This is probably their toughest test early. I know they have to match up with Michigan, but my point is in terms of styles, Yale's going to potentially slow them down, and we'll see how this game plays out.
Texas A&M is, if it qualifies, my big favorite. So not 2.5, 1.5 type of numbers. Obviously, it's not the 28.5, Houston. But I really, really like Texas A&M laying 7.5. I just think the reps that Yale gets in the Ivy do not in any capacity prepare them to play a defense like Texas A&M. That is an up-and-down league. The Ivy plays fun basketball, man. Cornell, Dartmouth, they run around. Ivy, very efficient. All of those opportunities and possessions allow them to fill it up. That won't be had tonight against Texas A&M. I think a locked-in group who probably were hoping for a little bit more, honestly, in their SEC tournament run. That didn't materialize. I think Wade Taylor and the crew handle and roll in a double-digit victory against Yale. And then, Lisi, my favorite game of the 4 that we'll get to cover, as you get a nice triple there from the Terriers. It is Missouri-Drake. It is the over at 132.5. It's up to 133.5. Let me save you the question. Keep on going. I don't think we're going to have a nail-biter here. I think it's a zoom.
Jimmy
Neutron, Brain Blast, wowzers. Oh, my goodness. Where'd all these points come from?
Getting a huge discount because of how Drake plays against Missouri, right?
100%.
Missouri plays no defense whatsoever, and they're going to push pace, right? So
This is why, first of all, okay, Mizzou has played elite slow teams like Tennessee, Texas A&M, right? Drake has basically one game where they played something similar to Missouri, and it was Vanderbilt. 81-70 final score. Lisi, 132. Listen, the more I know you, the more threes Wofford hits, the more likely I can get you in on that Missouri Drake total. So listen, I don't know. We keep talking Missouri Drake. They keep dropping triples. There's good juju in the air.
There is. I can tell you. I want to get on. I don't know. Look,
now he goes. There he goes. Run into the window. The race to 20 with the Kansas Jayhawks on a parlay.
He got abused. He got abused over there.
Could be a couple free throws.
Oh. Did you see the kid?
Did you really go to the line for 3 and make none of them? That can't be right. What does the kid shoot from the line?
I don't know, but
I need more information.
There's a kid that I think on Wofford that shoots 28% and shoots underhand.
No, come on.
I swear to you, granny style.
Is that?
I said I hope the 18.5 isn't on the line when this guy.
I honestly would have been better off than Justin Bale. I mean, kid's a 79% free throw shooter. 0 for 3.
Yeah.
No.
Should be a 5-point game.
I mean, Cannon Richards, is this our guy? No. Who's this free throw guy? I don't know. I think you might have made that up. That's all right.
Down 10. We're up against it. All right. Okay.
No, you're not. You're down. Oh, all right. We're getting pulled in every direction here. All right. Okay.
Now,
tell me.
This pace all of a sudden, 11-5 for Kansas.
Yeah.
They trail.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Oh, we buried it. Was it a 3-ball? It was a 2.
All right. What you can't.
Just keeps going out on.
Hold on, I can't have you playing on the perimeter, okay?
All right,
I understand, but it's going to be hard for me to do what I got to do if you're over there playing fast and loose.
Playing fast and loose with these terriers.
I can't have you. I can't. Junkyard dog. Kid's got his own stream. No, I can't win with that.
I'll watch it up there.
Yeah, not for long.
It's tough.
No, all right, don't worry. We'll we'll move it around. You'll be just fine, all right?
Yeah, this pace 40 points with Wofford.
Yeah, let's see what the in-game number is. I'm seeing 137.5.
All right, up against it. That's good. All right.
What would you want this game as high as?
I almost altered. I do have it as high as 145 and a hook.
Whoa, man! All right, there you go. Sure, why not?
Why not?
Keep it going there.
145 and a half. So we'll see. They're getting good looks. We're getting good looks.
Just quickly, anything Missouri Drake wise, because I'm trying to sell you on the total for yourself.
I like Missouri this side.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
Do you?
I don't. I don't think Drake can stop them. I really don't.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Oof, Lanier.
Yeah.
This guy's out here having a good time. I'll be honest with you. He's having a good time.
Having a great time.
He's got 13 points, 3 triples.
All right.
So it feels noteworthy.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have to
pace.
45. Pace is to your favor, would you say?
Yeah.
Would you say?
I would say that. If I could see exactly what's going on, it would be great.
Everything's just fine. We're smooth cruising, baby. We're going to lock in for the next 3 hours right here on SportsGrid. It's Kevin Walsh and Joe Lisi and you. In-game live bracket central. We'll be right back.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think GameTime Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to GameTime Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than GameTime Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into GameTime Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
back right here on Sports Grid. It's Kevin Walsh at Show Lisi. Let's just quickly go through it again. Anything, Joe, just pregame, A&M Yale, Drake, Missouri. I know we're doing in-game, but pregame, anything.
No, pregame, A&M, minus the 7.5. I do have that. I don't have Missouri, but I want to look to them for the
in-game. Again, I am going to, as well, lay the 7.5 with Texas A&M. Zoom to the moon over the 132.5, Missouri and Drake. I think we get points aplenty despite the slowest team in the country. It was funny. I had someone text me, saw the total. They know Missouri. And they're like, man, how is Drake like pretty slow? I went, slowest in the country. But I think, again, there's nothing you can do. This game goes under if Missouri is ice cold from 3. And I like 1 of 14 start from the game.
Yeah.
It happens. It's college. I don't think it'll happen here.
No, it's styles make fights, right? So Drake is going to look to take time of possession and obviously wait until they have about 10 or 8 seconds left on the shot clock and then take the best shot available. For Missouri, they're going to push tempo. They're going to look to get buckets in transition. They're going to look to shoot a bunch of threes. And it's almost like Creighton, right? They live and die. If they're hot early, it's going to be lights out. And then you blow right through that total.
So you mentioned
16-14 Arkansas. This total's up to 157.5.
Yeah, which is pretty remarkable now.
Crazy when you think
I'm gonna start to key in here because I don't know if I mentioned this on air, but I had a little fun. I took a race to 20 parlay with the 4 favorites in our window. Tennessee through the door. 2 more games still to start, but we've got now on our screens here a 16-14 Razorback lead. Let's get. Kansas is battling back. They're giving it a chance here, but you're gonna have to get a couple of stops.
That total was 146.5, Kev. So
Arkansas is out of a cannon, and now Kansas is going to have to speed up a little bit.
They might speed up, but again, you see, these games are close, right?
Yep.
I mean, they've been blowouts today, but 16-14, if this game's within 5 or 6 points either way, second half with about 10 minutes left, they're going to slow it down immensely.
That is true. The idea the other direction is, here come all the fouls, right? We know people bank on the foul games a lot when it comes to the different wagers that they place for the tournament, and sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't. Wisconsin, Montana, I don't think was able to get there despite a gazillion like both teams were in the double bonus, but they just weren't taking advantage. It was an odd one, so it can get tricky, Joe.
Personally, for me, I took the under in Purdue today, right?
Okay.
Free tip, 153.5. Any totals in the 150s, I'm willing to sell outside a team like Alabama and any of the sharpshooters, right? Just because no matter what, these teams want to advance to the next round.
Yeah.
There's going to be more half court as this game ratchets up a little bit, and it becomes, if it's under 10 points, it's going to be more of a half-court game.
Yeah, you got to play smart.
A team like Missouri that's just up and down the court, you have a 12-point lead, and you're racing away. But outside of that, even Miss State slowed them down in the second half of that game that they played about a week ago.
Yeah, 100%. So, again, A&M and Yale has now started about a minute into that game on our screens. We've got a 1-point Razorback lead. KJ Adams splits a pair from the line. KJ Adams returning for the Jayhawks is a big part of the reason that I was willing to buy in on this basketball team and felt that they were capable of making a real run here in March. I just think, look, he's not a huge pro prospect, but he's a great college player. The athleticism, the way he can stretch the floor vertically, rebound the basketball, can make plays out of the short roll. I like what he brings to this team here. And they've got a chance now to snag the lead. In fact, from what I'm seeing here, which is a tick behind. So, again, we've got eyes kind of on all of this stuff. Do you feel, you mentioned A&M could make a legitimate run. For you, do you feel that they are Auburn's toughest challenge in that South region?
No.
You think a bottom team?
Well, Auburn, I mean, Miss State is in there.
Yeah, Michigan State, Iowa State, Ole Miss.
So Miss State, for me, is their toughest.
Okay.
But when A&M plays Michigan, right? The winner of that plays Auburn. So A&M, I think, matches up well from just a personnel perspective. Plus, they beat them from a confidence perspective in that type of matchup. Should A&M get there, all the pressure's on Auburn.
Yeah, I saw some people today even talking about how Auburn looked today against Alabama State and basically just wasn't that promising. I took the 32.5 in that game ultimately. what happened for me, I marched Auburn all the way to the championship game, not because I'm in love with this team or the way they're playing.
Right.
I just thought all the matchups broke their way. Here's the thing. I think I have them playing A&M.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up playing a UC San Diego. I think if they played Michigan, they'd crash that team. So, again, that is always a big part of how this stuff materializes. Quick break. We're live with you right here on SportsGrid.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite Eight, to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Kind of like this. I know Bosa gets banged up and he doesn't play a lot, but for 1 year, I could take a shot.
And guys go there and they play well. Guys go there and they have success. Guys go there, they go to the playoffs. And look, I thought Von Miller sucked. I think Joey Bosa is way better than Von Miller, not back in the day, but he is now.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on Sports.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Gators' resume is excellent. We know how hard it is to win on the road in college. They've won at Auburn and at Bama.
Michigan State is 17-5 in quad one, quad twos. Are they a 1 seed? I think not. They may make claims if they make a run and there's craziness in the SEC.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with you right here on SportsGrid. Lisa, you're ready to look live. Talk to the people. Maybe you don't jump yet, but give them the idea what you're thinking.
I know I said over early in the Kansas-Arkansas game, but as I've watched this game now play out for 10 minutes, I just think it's going to be more of a grind. And now we're sitting at 150.5. We got as high, Kev, as I believe 162.5 in-game, which is crazy. That's nuts.
Right.
I mean, again, I think if Cal is close, they play more half court. I think their big men can be a factor as this game plays out.
Okay.
And again, Dickinson has been involved not that much in terms of the offense right now. So I believe more half court going forward. But 150.5 is still 4 points higher than what we had from a pre-tip.
Yeah.
Give me another 152, 150 or 53 in that area. I might take the under right now just because of how this game's played out. I'm still on the over Tennessee. That's still feel confident that game can sail.
So that game's at a pause. So I want to use that game. You know what? Let me wait to half. It'll be a little bit cleaner for everybody. At halftime, I want to talk about the live player props they're offering for that one, just to give people an idea of what those markets look like. We're going to have those markets. I always feel within, most sports, right? We do it a lot when we do our NFL shows. Halftime is kind of your best time, just because you get to look in this day and age. Everyone's streaming, everyone's a touch behind, right? You say you're here with us, you're trying to sync everything up. We love it, we appreciate it. Halftime, okay, we got time to digest and then make moves. So that's what I'm going to try and do, or we will do at half of these games. Tennessee is a 17.5 point favorite right now, though, Joe. So they have it right on the number. Kansas is back up to a 6.5-point favorite. Just knocked a triple down, so we should get to 20 here. And a good start from A&M. They're up to a 9.5-point favorite live in that game, Joe.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, A&M came out. They look focused. They look disciplined. Defensive perspective, they're playing. And again, they're a much stronger team than Yale.
Yeah.
Yale really has to dictate the tempo, I believe, to be in this game.
Okay.
So we'll see. So that's why first half is critical. I said first half for Yale potentially.
Yeah.
If you're going to back them. But outside of that, I tell you what, how about this team? Wofford.
They're hitting some big shots, Joe. Joe, give me this Kansas basket right down here just to get the first two of these down and give us a shot.
What do you mean?
I need a basket from Kansas right there with a
go.
mean dunk. Wow. Badunga. I wonder if he comes back.
I jumped in game. A 153.5 to the under.
Under?
Kansas.
Oh, you zagged on me. I see. I wasn't hearing you clearly.
I said I originally liked the over.
And now you're selling it.
And I'm selling it because I'm watching it play out. I'm really thinking more of a half-court game.
Yeah.
The game I really feel confident about from an over perspective right now is
A&M.
Wofford right now. A&M is starting to
Or
trend.
Tennessee. Okay, I'm sorry.
Tennessee, Wofford. But again, that game was 135.5, Kev.
Yeah.
We're up to 138.5, 139. They're scoring with time still on the clock. You know, this game could be a 10-point game. Wofford's still in it.
Well, yeah, I think to your point, Tennessee has a shot to hit 40 in the first half.
Yeah.
And you're not done and buried.
No.
I think we saw 23.5s pop live. So, you know, obviously.
Wofford averages 74 points per game. I think the mindset was, there's no way they're going to be on their total, and Tennessee's defense just going to stifle them. This hasn't been a bad half, considering, by the way, they've missed 4 free throws in the first half.
Right.
You know, if you get 2 of those, you're talking about a 7-point game.
Yeah, so basically I'm just kind of rereading all the stuff I wrote for this game. The Wofford style was interesting to me. That Duke game just horrified me. So I backed off. I found my prop, and I let it play like that. But I think there is some stuff stylistically that can allow this team to hang here. Vols are going to grab a timeout, so that's 36-27. I think what's so interesting about Kansas-Arkansas is I don't think Kansas is looking to play a game 85-80, but they started so slow. Both sides of the ball, they've sped up, and I think you are seeing, and you said it to me, and we probably should have, hey, you want to take Kansas minus 1.5? They are much better, I think, than this Razorback team. And to this quickly flip this game around and find their offensive push, but they're going to have to start to dig in and get some stops here.
Yeah, 24-23, back up to 5.5. 157.5 is the in-game total. So I got a bad number. We're seeing 156.5 right now.
Yeah.
But again, it's all as this game plays out, right? So you look big picture. Are they going to be able to maintain this type of consistency up and down the court, especially if the game is on the line? If it's a blowout, no problem. If all of a sudden Kansas asserts their will, to your point, they're up 10, 14 points. Then in the second half, then, you could blow right through 160. But if this game is under 10 and it's 5, 6, all of a sudden, I think Arkansas will slow it down to try and steal it, and that's where you have a potential to get into, to sell and catch the 153.5 under.
All right, so
Plus, it's all 7 points over pre-tip.
Yeah, no, again, there's pace, but there's a lot of efficiency. And that's always the thing when it comes to a total is if both teams are shooting 58%, okay, well, that's going to probably button up, right? We know how those things tend to go. Huge stop by Wofford on that final possession. Can they pair it with a bucket, Joe?
Can they get it?
All right, not much. All right,
but hey, you go down 9. I'll take it.
That's probably a first half cover, I would think.
Yeah, probably. You think like 10.5, 11?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. We know those first halves are more expensive for the favorite.
I'm telling you, I've watched this team, and they just have something. Again, I just need them to stay within 18.5, baby. Stay there. Give me life until the second half. If they come out hot and they make halftime adjustments, hey, if you're Tennessee and you've dominated, right, are you happy with a 9-point lead against Wofford, 19-15 team?
I
wouldn't be. If I was laying the 19.5, I wouldn't be happy.
No, I think you're spot on here. You look at this game right now, and you look, Wofford had that trip 0 for 3 from the line. They've both made 5 triples. It's been a situation where you just have more opportunities, really, for Tennessee. 7 offensive rebounds. They're winning the turnover battles tied. It's the offensive rebounds just a little bit there that they've done a little bit better with. Tennessee, some of that size and athleticism we know can always be tough for a team like this stepping up here. So I want to just read off some of the live player specials. So the cheapest option is Zakai Ziegler to make 3 threes at plus 185. He's already made 1. If you want to kind of up the ante a little bit, Jordan Gainey for 15 is plus 440. Gainey off of the bench right now has 4 points. So you would need 11 in the second half. 16 in the second half for Chaz Lanier to get you a 30 ball. That's plus 550. And then if you want to start to really elevate, Lanier and Ziegler to combine for 50, Joe. That's checking in at a 13-1 price.
I'm not going to.
I know. I wish they were throwing you some Wofford numbers, but I just wanted to give people the idea.
I got Civilis on MGM. I didn't get it.
Okay,
on FanDuel.
that's fine.
6.5 pre-tip. So they have more deeper Wofford numbers. Even Arkansas
in game,
even in game, right?
Impressive.
Now. So we'll
okay,
see.
great. So let me just see. I want to see because I try and always go to the 2 most common books for people here. So, okay, over on DraftKings, you have Chaz Lanier for 20 is minus 200.
Right.
Okay, you're going to make fun of me? I don't think it's a bad bet at minus 200. It's 6 points.
Yeah.
Is my thing. I don't think that's a terrible bet. I know it's expensive. I got you. But let me put it to you like this. Corey Tripp, who has 7...
And he's 1 for 5 from 3.
To get you to 15 is plus 130.
I like that better. Because here's the thing. Do you believe Tennessee? If you believe Tennessee's going to win like most people do and cover, right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be chucking. He's 1 of 5. He's taking the volume. Kevin.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
We talk
you're
about
not
volume.
Wrong.
The volume's there.
Open this number
you
up.
know, 5 threes. I mean, if he takes another 5, you get the volume play.
Yeah. And we also have a couple of other options we're going to look for here. We've got Texas A&M up right now. They were up 19-9. Yale did hit a 3 to push that back down to 7. But A&M is a 12.5-point live favorite with another 3 that they just made. That game's got some juice to it. Kansas is at 4.5. Missouri Drake's about to get underway. We're live right here on SportsGrid.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite 8 to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Kind of like this. I know Bosa gets banged up and he doesn't play a lot, but for 1 year, I could take a shot.
And guys go there and they play well. Guys go there and they have success. Guys go there, they go to the playoffs. And look, I thought Von Miller sucked. I think Joey Bosa is way better than Von Miller, not back in the day, but he is now.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on Sport.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Gators' resume is excellent. We know how hard it is to win on the road in college. They've won at Auburn and at Bama.
Michigan State is 17-5 in quad 1, quad 2s. Are they a 1 seed? I think not. They may make claims if they make a run and there's craziness in the SEC.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Back to the right here, SportsGrid. That's Joe Lisi. I am Kevin Walsh. Let's see what we've got for you here right now. We have Kansas and Arkansas in a back-and-forth affair. Another triple by the Razorbacks there. That game's up to 158.5 right now. Texas A&M up 11 on Yale. They are now a 13.5-point favorite. We're not going to get Missouri and Drake to tip for another 11 minutes, it says. So you've got some time.
We're going to take a lot of the totals fast pace. Jimmy Neutron special. Jimmy Neutron.
You like that one a lot.
I like that.
You like that one a lot. All right, let's then. So Tennessee Wofford. Do you think you're going to jump bite anywhere?
I mean, I feel like I've already what's the word? Pot committed to Wofford.
So this is what we used to do last year. First 4 minutes, 2 made threes.
Oh, you want to do this? Not with this game. This game.
Yeah, but which game?
Oh, you want?
But I'm saying, like, which game would be the game of the games we're watching?
I think
A&M Yale.
Yeah, I was just going to say that A&M Yale threes.
I feel like we're trying to throw that game to the wolves. I know you very well. Like Clemson and not Clemson, Tennessee and Wofford's a little too important to be doing that, right? Missouri Drake hasn't started, and Arkansas, Kansas, you've been trying to just figure out.
I mean, I'm dead to rights on the total, 163.
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you this, Joe. At least you're not in a group chat with a couple of buddies of mine who keep texting me how bad of a pick the Arkansas team total was under, which is what I'm dealing with right now.
Over yet.
No, apparently, I don't know. Apparently,
what was the team total?
They got 71.5.
I mean, it's still possible.
It happens.
They got 61 points right now. 6 minutes left.
That's an assess at halftime game. Unless, do you think, you know what? Actually, now you know what?
What? I tell you what, you want to do the Wofford and Tennessee.
You want to take an under? You want to take a live under in Kansas, Arkansas first half? Which one of these defenses steps up?
I still think this game, Arkansas now, the fact that it's a one-possession
Both teams
game,
are supposed to get into the 40s. I'm not sure about that.
Texas A&M, I think, is going to smash Yale now. Extend.
No, I like what I'm seeing from the Aggies. Yale looks discombobulated.
Let's take the over in Drake.
Okay.
And let's do this game with Arkansas and Kansas.
86.5 this live total now. Phew.
We'll do the Wofford.
They brought their scoring shoes.
Quick bets. Where is it?
What are you looking for?
Whatever you were telling me.
The live threes?
Yeah.
You like the race twos?
We'll do everything. Why not?
Oh, you want me to throw you a race two? Hold on, ready? This will be right up your alley. Race to 50. Wofford. 17-1.
That would really be.
That would be something, huh?
20. They would have to outscore them 23-14 right here.
That'd be some run. I don't see that happening. I'll be honest with you.
Race to 60.
You think that's better?
15-1. Yeah, it gives them a little more time.
A little more breathing room. Yeah, but they might not even get to 60.
That's true.
Maybe you like it a little bit more now.
Second half race to 5 points. Wofford plus 120.
Wofford's team total's 57.5.
They need 31 points in the second half to get there.
That's not a ton of points to need.
No, it's not. I think that, you know what? I still like them. What's the second half line? It's 17.5.
Yeah, it's the same story.
That's all right. They're 20-1 on the money line.
Same story. They're not winning the game. I'll be honest with you. How does that make you feel?
All right, I took them for the.
I showed my cards. They're not going to win this game.
Everybody else.
Okay, no.
It's no shock that Wofford is an 18.5-point dog.
Well, yeah. Again, like I'm not going out on a limb.
Right. I know.
But I just profile-wise, I'm not seeing it. Are you still?
I feel good.
All right.
I really do.
So then,
I believe in this team.
Let me tell you, Kansas, Arkansas could set the tournament record for most points. I mean
169.5.
It's a seller. It's a bear market. I mean, what's going on here? This is every possession somebody's scoring another basket.
I think I got to take a shot here.
But what are you taking a shot on, Joe?
Under. I'm going to take a shot.
Well, at this point, I don't even know.
Over the Drake and under.
Yeah.
169.5.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch.
I just don't think that.
Let me take a couple more pokes around in this game. What's the story of this game? Kansas is hot from 3.
Yeah.
They're getting to the line.
Smashed it.
And they're crushing the offensive glass.
There you go. I just took under.
At what?
169 and a hook.
All right, so just keep clicking.
This is it.
Yeah.
Sell high, sell higher until the market comes off.
Listen, we've seen this last year. I think it was Bama UConn.
Yeah.
It would almost got to, or was it the Duke NC State game where it almost got to every number under the sun? Jared McCain was hitting a lot of triples in that one.
It was.
It was a good time.
So I'm over the Drake and under.
Under.
I got a good number, I feel. 169 and a half. I sold at the top. Sell! Sell! Sell!
It's in one. Wait, 169.5 is the tallest number we've seen.
Top of the market.
These teams are just so comfortable out there right now.
Yeah.
What are some of the live specials for players in this game is now the question on everyone's mind.
How did the kid
Dickinson for 30? No, come on.
What does he have right now? He started slow in this game.
He's sitting at 11. I don't like that.
All right. I mean, nobody said we're going to win by a shutout.
I think I might. Let's see if this number's still here. I don't know. I might do the Chaz Lanier 1-2 step. You know,
Chaz, God, I won't root it in for you, but
yeah, no, I don't think you need to. I just think you got to 171.5. Okay, I don't know. They brought their scoring shoes like few others. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, well, they got 78 points. They're on a heater.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. In second half, when that score is 40 up, all of a sudden.
They got guys that have been looking to find their rhythm all season.
Calipari will be starting to pop the tums. Game on the line.
All right, so then that's what it is. Look, I'm going to get involved here. Oh, what's this? A little live boost. Fantastic. All right. Excellent. I'm taking Chaz Lanier. It's minus 200. But it's going in.
All right.
It's going to go in for me. Chaz Lanier for 20-plus points. He's at 14. We'll be right back with you here on SportsGrid.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years, but really getting beyond that, past the Elite 8 to a Final Four, that is where the Vols have struggled.
UCLA, I don't even know if they get past Utah State in that 7-10 matchup, to be quite honest with you. A Kentucky team that goes in ebbs and flows. Illinois at the 6. Which Illinois team we getting?
Only on SportsGrid.
Kind of like this. I know Bosa gets banged up and he doesn't play a lot, but for 1 year, I could take a shot.
And guys go there and they play well. Guys go there and they have success. Guys go there, they go to the playoffs. And look, I thought Von Miller sucked. I think Joey Bosa is way better than Von Miller, not back in the day, but he is now.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on Sport.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Gators' resume is excellent. We know how hard it is to win on the road in college. They've won at Auburn and at Bama.
Michigan State is 17-5 in quad 1, quad 2s. Are they a 1 seed? I think not. They may make claims if they make a run and there's craziness in the SEC.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, back to the right here on SportsGrid. Scoring is underway in Drake and Mizzou. 2-0 there for Drake. I would like to see Missouri get to 21st in this game.
All right.
Let's see what this was. It was just a little.
What do you got?
Plus 420 for all the favorites, basically, to grab 20 points first in this window. Tennessee did it pretty smoothly. A&M did it even smoother. And then Kansas battled back to get it done against Arkansas. We'll see what Missouri can do now against Drake. And all right, I got to move a couple of things around now.
Move it around.
I took Lanier for 6 points. I understand that that's minus 200.
Yeah.
But that really should be, I think, more expensive than it is. So I took it. Like, for example, let me see if I can just kind of, for Hunter Dickinson to get to 20 points, right, is minus 420, and he's at 11.
Right.
Now, he has 2 minutes and 40 seconds, but that's another 3 more points than Lanier needs, and that's double the price.
The rationalization sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And I understand where you're going for that. I'm trying to see how Wofford plays in the second half. They're down 9.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, let's try and steal this game right now. How do they do that? They haven't shot all that bad. 41% from three-point range. I'm thinking now in the first 4 minutes, could they nail 2 threes? Because, Kev, 2 threes in the first 4 minutes is even money at plus 100.
2, 3.
I mean,
I don't think I'm there yet. I know what you're saying. I don't think I'm there yet.
All right.
I don't mind it,
I want
but
to push you in.
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't get you in yet?
Not yet. Mizzou is sloppy. Let's call it like we see it. Sloppy. From the Tigers early. 2 minutes in, no points.
Dead to rights with Drake.
No points from Missouri yet.
Dead to rights.
But I like some of the offense Drake's running. Just
all right.
Arkansas, I got to tell you, I'm very impressed. I thought they might roll over in this first half.
No, they got a 3-point lead, 83 points. I mean, the 169 is definitely in jeopudy. The 146 is almost there. I mean, unbelievable. They're going to put up 100 points in the first half. Unbelievable.
And I'll say this as somebody who, again, look, brackets are brackets, but as somebody who pushed Kansas along very far, probably further than most.
Yeah.
I need their defense to play well.
Yes.
And
it's not.
This is abysmal.
But can I say something? Their defense over the last month of the season has not been that great.
I don't think you're wrong. I think overall it is still strong. I think they've had moments where it's looked good. Having to play Arizona, like at 5 times it felt like to end the year. So fast, so talented, just keep on coming. And Caleb Love just kept having good games against them. It felt like, right?
Yeah,
which isn't supposed to happen. The kid's supposed to, one day
up and down.
Yeah,
up and down.
He was just up and up when it came to playing against them. If again, like Kansas is going to put up 45 or so in the first half. I thought they'd be up massively. So I give Arkansas a lot of credit. Now it feels like Kansas is going to battle here the entire way.
It is. It's 45-42 with about a minute left. We'll see exactly what happens from an in-game perspective. I still think, this game is going to slow down in the second half because of one possession. Both of these coaches need this win, right? They both need the win. If the game starts to really start the way this first half ended, all of a sudden now things get out of control.
Yeah.
I don't believe Self or Calipari want to play that way.
Mm-hmm.
I understand they're doing it for the first half, but as we inch closer to the 10-minute mark, it's more half court. It's more, all right, let's wait for the right shot. Let's play more defense. So we'll see. How high does this total get? You think 178, 180? You're telling me we're going to trend into the 90s? I'll take a shot.
Yeah, no, I hear you. They just a lot of clean looks. Both you got. Here's another thing I'll say. This is going to sound obvious, but like you have guys who can go either way in terms of I don't know what I'm going to get out of them. They're all playing well. Like DJ Wagner has never really been able to live up to a lot of the hype he entered his college career with.
Right,
looks awesome right now against this team, finding spots. Janelle Davis finding spots, right? Brunga came off of the bench, gave him a boost. AJ Storr's been playing really, really good. You expect certain guys to contribute. Everybody is contributing, but that's how you get that many points on the board. All right, 1 hour done. A lot more to come. Keep it right here. It's In Game Live, Bracket Central.
They made the Sweet 16.